Rutendo, and welcome back to another episode of Me Time Monday. Today I'm going to be sharing a few words of encouragement with you, and what better way to do that than to share and talk about one of my favorite stories in the Bible. Today I will be talking about the parable of talents. So I'll be reading from the book of Matthew 25, verse 14 to 30. So the word of God says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country, who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. And to one he gave 5 talents, to another 2 talents, and to another 1 talent, to each according to his own ability, and immediately he went on a journey. Then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded them and made an additional 5 talents. And likewise, he who had received 2 talents went and traded with them and made also 2 more talents. But he who had received 1 talent dug in the ground and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of the servants came and settled those accounts with them. So he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 more talents, saying, 'Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more talents besides them.' His Lord said to him, 'Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler of many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord.' Verse 22 said, he also who had received 2 talents came and said, 'Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents. Look, I have gained 2 more talents beside them.' His Lord said to him, 'Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord.' Then he who had received 1 talent came and said, 'Lord, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And I was afraid and went and hid your talent in the ground. Look look here, there is what is yours.' But the Lord answered and said to him, 'You wicked and lazy servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my own with interest. Therefore, take the talent from him and give it to the man who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he will be taken away. And cast the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness. There he will reap and gnashing of teeth." God bless the reading of his word. So, this message has been something that has been working for me, especially as a business owner. And today I'm going to be talking about investing. We are in the week of investing, so it's very important that, we invest in ourselves. We invest in our businesses. We invest in the things that we believe are profitable. Last week, we heard from Jasmine Butler that sometimes people may discourage us based off of what they may feel, but it's not man who sees the vision. It's you who sees the vision, and it's God who carries out the vision. So when I look at this story of the talents, I see it as many businesses that have never even gotten off the ground. You know that one business where you're like, okay, I can do this, I really want to do this, but then because you're discouraged, you decide, maybe I'll not do it. And then the money that you had to even start the business, you end up throwing away or using it for something else. And then 10 years down the road, you hear that this business has been successful or this business has been interesting. So, you know, many of us, we have this situation where, and I myself included, we have this problem where we think of amazing ideas and we think that we can move forward with the business. But because we're either worried, like the man who had one talent, or intimidated by others who may tell us all kinds of stories, we end up not starting that business. And then the one person that you saw up the street or something, they decide to end up doing it themselves. And then, you know, everything is just defeated and you lose what could have been profitable to you. One story that I like to look at is, for example, for those of you who are familiar with Lyft and Uber. So Lyft and Uber, they actually got their idea from Zimbabwe. Not so much Uber, but there's the company Lyft. So there was a young man who traveled to Zimbabwe with his father. And, you know, for those of you who are familiar with the combis or the public transportation in Zimbabwe, that was a big thing. So wherever he went with his father, everybody kept saying, I need a lift, I need a lift, I need a lift. And this kid, he ended up coming back to the United States, I believe in San Diego, California, and he ran with that vision. He immediately picked up, you know, the business Lyft, and he started the app system, and he was holding it in South Africa. Now, in California. Now, one thing that, for those of you who are familiar with Uber and Lyft, you see that Uber is more predominant than Lyft is. And the reason being is, for many years, Lyft wanted to just keep it local. They didn't want to branch out. They didn't want to move out. And then the person that did Uber, they were like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to branch out. We're going to do what we need to do. And now most people use Uber over Lyft. Why? Because the blessing was taken. Lyft had that opportunity, but by the time they realized that their talent was, you know, how strong their talent was, they already lost the vision. They had the tools. I also like to look at the McDonald's franchise. If you guys look into how McDonald's began, it started off with two brothers, the McDonald's brothers. And these guys, like Lyft, they were a local mom and pop, well, a brother and brother shop, like a restaurant. And their services were so immaculate that people were actually so impressed at how crisp their food was and how consistent they were with everything, because they had a game plan. But then there was another man that came, and he wanted to invest. And he also wanted them to branch out and open up different franchises. But the brothers kept saying no. In a nutshell, what ended up happening is that man ended up taking the company from beneath the brothers. Not only did he take the company from beneath the brothers, he also took the name of the company. Imagine these guys, their last name was McDonald's. And now this man took their name. He took their birthright. He took their birthright. Why? Because they did not want to branch out. They had that one talent, and they decided to dig it into the mud. They decided to dig it underneath and hold on to what they had. But little did they know that the world was expanding beyond recognition. And right now, look, everywhere you turn, it's a McDonald's. McDonald's never shuts down. If anything, they always expand. So where am I going with this? In life, we are given challenges as human beings. Many of those challenges are self-inflicted. Sometimes we have the resources, and sometimes we feel as though the resources that we have are too little. I want to sit here and tell you, ladies, that nothing is ever too little. You know, I have a predominant photography business, and I also have a social media marketing business, and I do graphic design. And one thing that I realized, I needed to start investing in my business. For a while, I've been a member of Forward in Faith Ministries since 2007. And from 2007 to 2018, I was designing flyers, and I was designing t-shirts, and I was designing programs for the church. And I was not asking for any compensation. Even in terms of photography, like there was a time where I was taking pictures and just not investing in my work. And I realized, you know, I have this gift and I have this talent. and I'm just sitting on it. This is something that I could work for my own benefit, put towards my own benefit. This is something that I could utilize to actually succeed and increase in certain areas of my life. But because I was blinded by myself and everything, there was even a time I went to school for graphic design, and I just left and I changed my major because I was just like, well, what's the point? Part of me listened to some people who would say, oh, you can never go anywhere in that market, you can never do anything in that field. So when the pandemic hit in 2018, actually, right before the pandemic, I lost my job. I actually lost my job doing the work of the Lord. It's a place I used to teach. It's a place where it's a profession that I'd been doing for years, and I had gotten to a point where I had felt like I had outgrown it. I tried to quit multiple times, but they kept bringing me back. I'm guessing shortage of staff, but they would just continue bringing me back until, one day I was, doing the work of the Lord on work hours, and they let me go. And as devastating as that was for me, I had to pick myself up. At that time, I didn't have work, didn't have a job or anything. So I said to myself, okay, God gave me gifts. God gave me talents. For those of you who know me in Forward in Faith, I'm very active in many areas, but usually I just stay there. But I just want to thank God, and this is maybe mostly like a testimony, but I just want to thank God because I started working hard, and then I said, no, if I want to actually increase, this is something I'm good at, this is something I enjoy, this is something that brings, it brings pure joy into my heart, and what better way to do that than to make it work for me? So I invested in a camera, started taking pictures. I invested in softwares. Didn't have the fundings, but with the little that I did have, I put the first payment down, and I invested in softwares to help increase my flyers. And it was as if overnight things just changed. I saw God working. People were contacting me in terms of taking pictures. Even at one point, the school that I had that let me go, they were even asking me to take pictures of the kids for events, like family events, simply because I had been taking pictures at the school during my time. So I got very overwhelmed, and I just kept working and pushing and trusting in God. Sometimes when we're investing in certain areas of our life, we as human beings, we wonder if we'll fail. Like we have the spirit of fear sometimes as human beings, and it can be something that's quite discouraging. But I put my first foot forward, and I said, you know what, God, at this point, I don't have anything else, so I need you to take over. And by sacrificing, by me investing in myself, by me investing in my business, by me investing in my future, it brought me to a company that I now have multiple clients. There's times where I have so much work that I just don't know. I don't know what to do with myself. And that was all because I invested. That was all because I took time. So ladies, I don't want to keep you long, but I just want to encourage you, especially this week as we are talking about investments. Do what you need to do. Even if it's little, perfect what you have with the little that you have. When it came to photography, I actually used to take pictures with my phone. I mastered the art of light, and I took pictures with my phone, and some of those pictures were actually some of the best pictures I took in my life until I gained enough money to, accumulate and purchase a camera. Even when I used to design flyers, when I used to edit videos, I used to edit and design everything from my phone. So I didn't have much, but I was working with what I had at that given moment. So one thing that I do want to let you ladies know is work with what you have. Nothing is too small. Everything, even a drop can take you places. Don't be discouraged. Keep pushing. There's going to be lots of people that won't understand your vision, but it'll come to pass, trust me. Right now, whoever knew that there would be a pandemic in the year of 2020 into 2021 and everything will be done on social media. I always look back and I always wonder what would have happened if I continued the graphic design school. What would have happened if I had even maybe went into marketing like I really wanted from the beginning? It took me a while to get where I am today, but I just want to encourage you ladies, if you have a dream, if you have a vision, invest in that dream and in that vision. Invest in that dream and in that vision. I look at people like Oprah and even the man that did KFC, the owner of KFC. Many of those people, they were, in their 40s when they became successful. I'm not saying that you and I, will reach 40 before we become successful. But what I'm trying to say is they took time to invest in what they believed in. They worked hard. They didn't waste the talent that they had. I always hear testimonies of people in Zimbabwe who start a small business by selling peanuts. Next thing you know, they buy a peanut machine. Next thing you know, they're making they're making peanut butter out of those machines. Next thing you know, they open up a factory. Next thing you know, they're now supplying the whole country with peanut butter. It all starts with a small vision and a small investment. So ladies, thank you for joining us for another episode of Me Time Monday. My name is Rutendo, and I love you and be blessed. Invest, 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 no matter how small your investment may be, because one day your investment will be bigger than you can even see. If you like what you see and would like to donate to Girls of Quality USA and Belize, please feel free to send all monetary donations to Cash App at $Girls of Quality. Be blessed.